Cybermaterial presents Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for a high-energy, no-fluff recap of the week's biggest cyber stories. From data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special, live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. Without further ado, let's get this event started.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of Ask Me Anything Cyber. I'm your host Prapti, and joining me as always is our co host and resident cybersecurity expert, Sophie. Hi, Sophie, how are you doing today?
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
Hi, so today we are looking into real cybersecurity questions from Reddit users, stories straight from people who have been hit with ransomware attacks, email hacks, or even identity theft. Sophie here is going to help us unpack what actually happened, what you can do about it if you ever find yourself in such a sticky situation. Then later in the show, of course, we'll wrap up our quick recap of the week's top cybersecurity headlines as well. So stay tuned till the very end. So, Sophie, ready to get started with our first Reddit question?
Yeah, I'm so ready. And don't forget that everybody can ask questions on the chat on Substack or LinkedIn, and we'll try our best to answer them. Otherwise, feel free to reach out to us directly. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
All right, so let's get started. Our first story comes from a Reddit user who says that their computer was recently hit by a ransomware attack that encrypted all their files. The system looked normal to them, but everything important is locked and inaccessible. The user has been searching for decryption tools online but feels unsure about which ones are legitimate because, of course, there's a lot of tools, but you don't want something that's going to make the situation worse and doesn't want to risk damage, to the data. They also refuse to pay the ransom and they're stuck wondering what safe recovery steps to take and how to prevent it from happening again. So, Sophie, what's your advice to someone dealing in this
Yeah.
situation? Yeah.
So this looks like a real life situation. So this person, it looks like they are going through something
Yeah.
like very hard, and I understand it's very stressful. But never forget that there's always professionals, or there's always people out
Yeah.
there that can help you navigate this situation. And the fact that this person has all their files locked down, it's like this person needs to think that the most important thing is not to panic and not to
Hmm.
rush into paying
Yep.
ransom. As I always mention in these sessions, that FBI, that's the number one recommendation, is not to pay the ransom. Otherwise, you encourage these ransomware gangs to keep doing
Yeah.
it. um, and also, it doesn't guarantee that your files are going to come back or they're going to be leaked or whatever. So it's sort of like you may pay and you may not get your stuff at the end of
Yep.
the day. So better save your money for something else. But in this case, what I will recommend exactly is to analyze the extent of the ransomware. If it's just your computer or there's somebody
Yeah.
else affected. So in this case, it looks like this is an individual that has been affected. And as we know that most of the ransomwares out there that we know of are for
Yeah.
organizations or companies or governments. So in this case, because it's an individual, probably it doesn't have like a whole network connected, or
Yeah.
like, so maybe it would be just one computer, or it could be like the entire like network can be compromised.
Network. Yep.
Mhm. But in this case, what I would recommend for a thing that for any ransomware case is just to isolate the system immediately, the infected
Yeah.
system immediately. So this means that disconnect it from the internet as soon as you can, and because you don't want the ransomware to spread somewhere else, so just turn off your computer, and if you can, you also can unplug your router. That's best.
Yep.
Now, don't delete anything, even if you feel or think that your files are locked. Don't try to do another installation or anything, because you need to keep this information for forensics later, so you can investigate, you can work
Uh,
with law enforcement. Yeah, you
Thank you
were
so
gonna
much, Sophie.
you were gonna say something.
Yeah, yeah. Another
Oh,
thing I was going to ask, like, if we knew the type of ransomware that was
yeah.
affecting, maybe there was a decryptor tool out there that we could have.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
and actually, that's what I was gonna recommend is to identify the ransomware. So most of the time, they leave a note on your desktop or like a pop up. So there are free tools out there. It's called ID ransomware from nomoreransom.org. I will share the link with you guys so you can have you can have the link where you can go. This website usually has some ransomware samples where you can actually contrast like data and contrast data and check like files to see if any like coincides with the ransomware you've been
Yeah.
affected. So in this case, you just go there. Sometimes there are free tools that you can use to decrypt your files. So it's very important to identify the variant you're dealing with. So in this case, since this is an individual, probably or maybe
Yeah.
a ransomware as a service situation. So it could be like not like a ransomware professional gang, maybe just somebody got a ransomware as a service software and it
Hmm.
just sent it to this person. So when these type of things happen, they're usually decryptors, because this is like a package, like a service that they are selling.
Yeah.
It's not that the ransomware itself coded the malware with the encryption keys. So they
Okay.
usually use generic keys, and sometimes you can find them. And you can also look for official decryption tools. In the No More Ransom project, they always provide legitimate free decryption tools for many ransomware types, especially the ones I mentioned before that could be
Yeah.
ransomware as a service. And Of course, keep in mind on not downloaded anything like shady because
Yep.
you don't want to pile on it. And most important, and this is like before you're hit by ransomware, is to always have a backup. I know it's very like cumbersome to do it because you always need to be updating your cloud or your, even if you use like a cold storage or
Yeah.
anything. So it's very important to always have a backup so you can restore from backup, right?
Yeah.
And now, as a last resource, if you are not that well vested in like in computing or cybersecurity per se,
Yeah.
you can always contact professionals. They will help you handle this. It will help you talk to law enforcement if you want to proceed with like further investigation. So just keep in mind you're not alone out there, and there's a lot of resources that can help you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Sophie, for your answer. And now to go into another question, another Reddit user described a sudden confusing account breach that happened to them. Everything was normal until around noon when their phone started ringing nonstop. The
Mhm.
customers were calling to say that they had received a suspicious email from the user. When they checked, their sent mail folder was empty, but the deleted items count was rapidly increasing. Within 10 minutes, around 150 phishing emails were sent to the old contacts, some dating back 2 years ago. The user had Microsoft Authenticator and two factor authentication enabled, yet didn't receive any login alerts or verification code. They even used NordVPN on their phone and hadn't checked any strange links or leaked credentials anywhere. They contacted the email provider to revoke all connections and tokens, but now they're unsure if their phone itself is compromised. They did ask whether they should uninstall and reinstall Microsoft 365, or is a full factory reset necessary, even though they would prefer not to do that. So, Sophie, how could an attacker bypass 2FA like this, and how should a person move forward with this safely?
So this is a great question, and I like because you can sort of unpack what is behind email providers, and it's
Yeah.
not always due to leaked credentials, as this person already know about it. And it sounds like crazy, but first of all, is to like to identify what was compromised. Sometimes it's not about
Okay.
your behavior. In this case, this person said it has MFA, it has like VPN, whatever.
Yep.
So it's more about the vulnerability somewhere along the line of the service providers. So it could be like a session hijack
Yeah.
or cookies stolen, tokens being stolen. So since this person already revoked all active sessions and tokens with their email provider,
Yep.
that's the number one step that you always have to do, because in this case it doesn't look like the issues coming from the user because
Yeah.
they have a different behavior. It looks like it's coming from their provider and probably like a session hijack or a token stolen. So the fact that you are revoking these active sessions tokens, it will mean that you're already removing access to whoever has access to your account.
That's great.
And that's why this person may have not seen any like suspicious activity,
Yeah.
somebody's trying to log in into your email, because it's not doing like through the conventional ways of like
Yep.
signing in directly. They probably using a third party tool to access the
Access
cookies,
into it.
the tokens, and log into your email through that way. So far, email providers are not sending you alerts when somebody is using your session, cookie session, sign in. And they are not saying, "Hey, somebody else is using your cookies."
Yeah.
So that will be something that we can investigate there and use it as sort of also like a way to warn users about
Users.
that.
Yep.
But anyway, somehow this person found out that because his customers were reaching out saying they were receiving emails and whatnot. So
Yep.
that's the way he found out, but it would have been better maybe if the provider. Now, as a part of that, this person said that should I wipe my phone or whatever. Um, what I would recommend is maybe, I mean, is to do a clean installation of your Microsoft 360 applications and change all your passwords. And the fact that you already revoke like session tokens, I can say it's enough, but now you need to troubleshoot with your provider. In this case, it's going to be Microsoft to see where the hijack has coming,
Yeah,
if it's from your browser, from your phone. So because in this case we don't know if it was a phone or was your browser session cookie. So you need
yeah.
to sort of investigate with your provider. They do have a team at Microsoft that will troubleshoot with you. And from that, from there, if there's a vulnerability or a CVE or something that needs to be patched, you have to do it. But you
Okay.
will have to work with Microsoft because they are the ones that know what happened.
Okay. Thank you so much, Sophie. And I hope this user gets all the, questions answered. And make sure that you leave your questions in our live chat right now on Substack and on LinkedIn. So whenever you leave your questions, we will do our best to answer them. So get started. Our next case is puzzling and a little fun thing I like to play. It's called Hacked or Not. So, this Reddit user living in Norway discovered that their phone, specifically a Samsung Galaxy S21, keeps showing their location as Angola on apps like Snapchat and Google Maps. It has happened multiple times to them, always pinpointing the same house in the same neighborhood. They aren't using a VPN, they haven't traveled for a long time, and their mobile carrier isn't sending them any roaming alerts, those messages that we get usually when we are outside, that it's going to cost us a bit more money or less money depending on the area that we're in. And they're wondering if their phone has been hacked or if something else might have happened for this false location data to be showing up on their mobile. So Sophie, what do you think happened? Is this hacked or not?
Well, I mean, from this person's description, it's very hard to understand exactly what happened.
Yeah,
Because the fact that it's saying that it's located in Luanda, Africa,
yeah.
which and this person lives in Norway.
Norway.
When he says that where the phone is located is like the physical phone, or when you connect to Snapchat, it says that you are like you are texting from that country. So those are two different things, you know.
Hmm.
What I can say right now, it's like uh, probably this person said that the Snapchat map was located in Luanda, Africa. So
Yeah.
this person changed his password, and but then he said again. So it looks like somebody has access to this person Snapchat account. And another thing that you also may need to consider, maybe you had a previous phone where you have Snapchat logged in,
Logged in. Yeah.
and you sold that phone, you give it away, and it ended up in Africa, in Luanda, and somebody had access to your session cookies. I could
Oh,
say.
that's actually
So
something that could happen.
that could be also the explanation, but also somebody can have access to his Snapchat account and be logging in from Luanda too. So
Okay.
it's very hard to see exactly unless I can understand what is this person referring to.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean it's very hard to actually know, but from the fact that this person said it was Snapchat, that it was like pointing him that he was in this country.
Yeah, in this house specifically.
Yeah, it could be that somebody has an old phone of yours and is using it, or it's logging from a computer or another device from that specific location to your Snapchat account. So what you have to do, like revoke all sessions from Snapchat.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two, change your passwords, put MFA.
Yeah.
Number three, reach out to Snapchat support and say, you know what, this is happening to my account. Can you help me? That's what I would
These
recommend.
are the steps that they should take. Definitely.
And again, if you happen to have an old phone, make sure to
Yeah.
wipe it out
Yeah.
before you give it away, because sometimes you can leave things locked in there and can
Hmm.
come back and bite you.
Yeah, it could because this happens it's very common. Phone gets broken and we don't do anything about it. Just get a new phone and that's it.
Exactly.
So that's something that could happen. It's a security risk.
Yeah.
Um, the next question comes from someone who actually noticed a frightening email claiming that the hacker had installed remote access malware. We've actually seen a lot of this, in these sessions that we do. So the user says that the hacker claims to have recorded videos through their
Mhm.
webcam and stolen sensitive data And all this was saved in their email draft. The email even included the person's real password and demanded $500 in Bitcoin to
Mhm.
prevent the supposed videos from being leaked. The user is panicking, of course, and doesn't know whether to believe in the threat or if they even should respond. This kind of email has been becoming increasingly common. We have seen similar incidents before, but it's easy to see why people panic. So, just as a
Yeah.
refresher, what's actually happening here?
Well, first of all, I want to tell this person that this is actually the number one scareware tactic out there. I've seen this so many times, even to myself. Like I always receive on my
Yeah,
spammy, hacked, already breached email address a lot.
yeah,
And the fact that this person mentioned that they sent a PDF they sent a PDF with their password and email on there. Well,
yeah.
this is attributed because maybe your email address or your password has been leaked. So
Hmm.
what the hackers do, they build sort of like a profile persona, and they say, you know what, this victim, we have all this information about them, and what we can do is let's just do a PDF and tell them what we know. So we sort of look like legit. But if
Yeah.
you think about it, probably it was like a leaked credential. So they found out
Oh,
password or your email address,
okay.
and they said, you know what, we know your password, and maybe you didn't change it, so it's still the same that it was leaked.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what may have happened. Now, don't pay the ransom because that's what they're doing. They are fishing.
Yeah.
They are not fishing for credentials here. They are fishing for money. So let's see who bites
Yep.
and who's sending them the money. And
Yeah.
again, if they have access potentially to your image or videos or whatever, they would have sent proof. Number one. Number two, you would have like spyware in your computer or something. So if you have an antivirus or something, probably would have detected
Warned it. Yep.
exactly. So this is like a typical scareware. Just put it in your spam, delete it, and move on. Like move on because it's not something that you should consider. Because just remember, like scammers, they thrive in like with these scareware tactics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the fact that like with fear and you would just need to keep it cool and say, you know what, if I'm receiving 5 to 10 per day, like they are really desperate.
Yeah. So it's just a regular scareware tactic that scammers
Exactly. Yes.
use, definitely.
Yeah.
And we have covered many of these before in the past, and this seems to be a very common way to get, people
Yeah.
lose their sleep.
And
So,
we do have a blog post in our website that explains how they work. So if you want to check it out, you can go to 911cyber.app and check our blog and read about it.
yeah, definitely. And we also probably have actionable tips over there, right, Sophie?
Yeah, and
That
if
you can take.
anybody like suffer from this type of like scareware tactics, please send them over because I love to go through them and I love to write about them. So if you can send it over, maybe you can become a blog post too. So
Yeah. So people who are watching right now, make sure that you reach us to directly to us. You can either reach out to Sophie or me, or you can directly DM at Cybermaterial to the entire team. So now another user. Oh, we actually have a question on LinkedIn,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
So his name is Satish, and he is writing how to use attack framework in the real alert scenario. Okay.
Okay, yeah. So this person is talking about the MITRE attack framework, which is a
Okay.
real alert scenario. So the main idea is to take this alert and map it against the tactics and technique in the framework. So, for example, let's say you get an alert about, I don't know, an unusual PowerShell activity. So
Yeah.
instead of just treating it like a weird PowerShell script, you have to check the MITRE attack and see which techniques maps to, I don't know, for example, like to one specific like mention about PowerShell and see
Okay.
how it works. So from there, you will know about the tactic, about the execution, and you can start asking the right questions. So for example, did this script come from a phishing attempt? Was it trying to download another payload? And does it help you tie this single alert with a bigger attack chain? So it's going to help you a little bit to understand what is the background. Now, for this person, in short, the MITRE attack gives you context and tells you not just what happened, but also why it might happen or why
Hmm.
might it be happening and what the attacker next move is. So always keep in mind about that.
Thank you so much, Sophie. And thank you so much, Satish, for leaving your
Yeah.
question.
And I love
So,
these type of questions because it sort of like helps people understand how a lot of frameworks work and how they are like why they are in place and how helps cybersecurity professionals like work in the cybercrime like world and help. So Satish, thank you so much.
and not to mention, this is the entire purpose of this show, is to help you get a better understanding of the cyber world. So, thank you so much for your question. To the viewers watching, make sure that you leave your questions behind so we can get them answered. Now, another Reddit user reports suddenly receiving like an influx, about 5 to 10 phishing emails per day, fake promotions from companies like Netflix, Macy's, Omaha Steaks, etc. Interestingly, this email address is only used for loyalty programs and
Hmm.
store newsletters, not for banking or personal communication. The user is marking each of them as spam, but says it's becoming kind of overwhelming for them because obviously if they're receiving 5 to 10 per day, it's a lot. They're wondering if it's time to abandon their email account altogether, which obviously they don't want to do. So Sophie, what could have caused such a huge spike in phishing messages, and what practical steps can they take to manage or reduce it?
So it looks like this person has been a victim of a data breach. So his email address or her email address has been leaked online. So that may be the reason why they are getting a lot of spam or phishing emails. So what I would recommend is to go to Have I Been Pawned, put your email address there, and see where this data breach is coming from. It would sort of tell you exactly what was like behind, who was behind this data breach, so you can sort of pinpoint where is it coming from. Now, as to how to mitigate the amount of like phishings you're getting,
Yeah.
that's a little bit hard to do because once they get your email, like unless you mark everything to go to spam, it's going to be a little bit hard to stop.
Oh,
So this is one of the reasons that I always tell people to get an alias, so you can just delete it and all the
yeah.
emails will bounce. So the scammers, they would just remove you from their working mailing list, and that's it. You will keep your I can say your inbox, but the alias is just gone, so you can keep working. So if you feel like you want to give away like a spam email and but you still want to get it to your inbox account, just create an alias. Microsoft Outlook offers the option to do it, to do up to 10 aliases.
Okay.
So just create one, I don't know, your name dot spam at outlook.com, and you just give it away to all these like companies that you they request an email to give you a service. So
Okay.
and once it gets leaked or something happens, you just delete it and you don't get it anymore. You create another alias and you said your name dot spam 2 at
Okay.
outlook.com, and you keep getting them. Would be
So can they do it right now with the current like email that they have, or do they have to like remove it entirely?
well, in this case, what I can suggest this person, you can create. I don't know which email provider is using. So if
Yeah.
it's using Outlook, uh, you can actually create an alias. You
Hmm.
can see I want to sign in with this alias,
Yeah.
and I want to stop using my previous email account. So you can actually delete the email address you actually used to
Address. Yeah.
sign up, and you just create another user. So that's what Microsoft offers you as a flexibility here,
Yeah.
as opposed to Gmail, or even ProtoMail now has that option as well. So if you want to use Outlook or ProtoMail, you can actually have that and change your signing email address and use a completely different one. So you don't get rid of your inbox. You just get rid of
Address.
the alias, yeah, the address, exactly.
Yeah, and the hackers or whoever is trying to get to them will just take them off their email list. So that
Yeah.
would be one of the easiest solutions. Okay,
Yep.
so we actually do have something to announce. It's the Cyber Review, and you can check them out on our YouTube. And we have it with various authors like Melissa and Bob Shepard. Plus, if you're an author of a book and would like to promote, feel free to reach out to us directly at Cyber Material or to Sophie.
Yes.
Yeah. Do we have any upcoming cyber reviews, or do you want to talk about the one that you did with Melissa?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have one fresh out of which is with Bob Shepard. He was with us
Yes.
last session,
Yeah.
and we also have one with Melissa where we talk about cybersecurity and governance and how attorneys and law practitioners are helping shape the cybersecurity landscape,
Yep.
especially like with all these cybersecurity regulations and things that are like happening around.
Yeah.
And of course like and it's very important because the fact that we know like we have people working on that, and it's very important to actually stay up to date with policies,
Yeah.
regulations, and anything that can impact your business.
Yeah.
And also like considering that, for example, like during our cyber briefing this week, we had another cybersecurity, I can say, law advancement, for example, in Australia regarding cyber law.
Yeah.
And that again, an Australian company was able to get an injunction from a judge to serve the hackers not to publish data leak from it. This is from Qantas, the airline,
Yeah.
and they were about to publish the data from their customers. So they file an injunction, and they were able to serve the hackers not to do it. So there's sort of like we're something there that it's a little bit pushing forward. And we talk
Yep.
about it with Melissa during her
Cyber
cyber
review.
reviews.
Yeah.
So please watch it and make sure to get Melissa's book or reach out to her for advice.
Yep. Thank you so much, Sophie. And now, moving on to another case. A student recently enrolled at the University of the People and received an alert from Google saying that their personal information, including name, address, and contact details, had been found on the dark web.
Mm-hmm,
They confirmed the details were accurate and are now worried about what it might mean. They are
mm-hmm,
unsure who to contact or whether it is possible to remove their information from the dark web listings.
mm-hmm.
So, Sophie, the dark web, that sounds really serious. So, tell us, how serious is this? And how could somebody, what could they do in this situation when they find their data exposed like that?
Yeah. So this is great because this is like a new tool that Google has launched recently.
Yeah,
It's called the Dark Web Report. It's a tool
yeah.
that you have to set up with your Google account. In this case, it's only available, I think, for workspace users. I'm not sure if they expanded it to Gmail users.
Yeah.
When I mentioned
They did. They
workspace,
did. I was able to do it for my
oh,
own account.
perfect. So it's available right now. But
Yep.
anyway, what's important is that people will be able to create like a monitoring of their like personal information using this Google tool. So it looks like this person have used this tool and got an alert, right?
Yeah.
And what I can say is like what this person is receiving right now is alerts from this tool, and what they can do, and it's more important, is to detect what happened first, is to if probably the tool will tell you where is it coming from.
Okay.
In this case, he mentioned or she mentioned is the University of the People.
Yep.
So it looks like it's coming from there. So you have to go back to your platform, probably change your email, change your personal information, your name, and it's very important to actually work with their team on how to solve this.
Yeah.
And it's very important because you need to actually work with the provider to avoid this, right?
So, like, is there something that is potentially at like major risk since this person is mentioning dark web? Is
Hmm.
that like something that is gonna cause them some sort of a bigger issue later on? Or
Yeah.
can they even remove their data from dark web? Is there anything that they can do?
Well, once it's out there, it's a little bit hard to actually
Get
get it.
control over that.
Yes, because it doesn't depend on you, even if you do your best to remove it, right?
Okay.
But what I can recommend is mostly what you can do is to always change your credentials. In this case, if you know exactly where it's coming from, that's what you should do. Go to this organization and get it like sorted out with them so you can uh, like
Yeah.
like be protected. And again, use an alias.
Yes.
So if this happens again, you will be able to just delete it and keep going with your
Move.
life,
Yep.
and it's not going to be impacting anything else that but that. So
Yep.
that's exactly what I can like recommend.
Prevention is better than the
Yes,
cure in this
yes.
case because once
And
it's out there,
yeah, exactly. And for those out there, we do have a referral program for Google Workspaces. So if you want to get your this dark web monitoring tool enabled with your Workspace account, you can use this referral program link. Um, I can um, I can share with you the exact link. But if you scan the QR code, you will be able to get it and just get a discount workspace account, and you can use it.
yep. Thank you so much, Sophie, for sharing that. All you have to do is scan the QR code and set it all up with the Google Workspace tool, and then you'll be able to get alerts like this user got if something does happen. You know, some data or info gets leaked on dark web. All right. So now coming to another Reddit user who says that they were a victim of identity theft last year that they know of. Multiple fraudulent accounts were opened in their name, and it took months for them to fix everything. That must have been exhaustive to do. They have since frozen their credits, changed passwords, and set two factor authentication across all accounts. From what you tell me, these are the exact right steps to do, right, Sophie?
Yes, yes, that's exactly
Yeah.
what we always recommend to our customers and why it's important. And going through identity theft is really exhausting,
Yeah.
and the fact that you have to do it like it's like very demanding. And
Yeah.
but again, this person already done most of the important steps like
Yep.
free strong passwords, two-factor authentication. That will help this person like sort it out faster. Now,
Yeah.
about hiring a PI,
Yeah, he does ask that like in the second half. Like
yeah,
he mentions that things have been stable, but they still feel uneasy. You know, that feeling that, unsure if something might happen to them because of the information out there. And they are now considering about
yeah.
hiring a private investigator. So what should they do, Sophie?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of like hiring a PI, I don't know. A PI won't have many special tools to actually help you in the dark web or
Yeah.
find someone. So that's why you always need to work with law enforcement, because they are the ones that they have the tools to go after them and see who were behind your identity theft. Now, um, as far of what this person has done, that's dead. That's it. I mean, because you rarely can go to the dark web and delete anything about you. But what you can
Yeah.
do is to make this information obsolete. So in this case, like if you change your, I don't know if it's person is in the US, you can change your social security number. You can do that up to 3 times in your lifetime.
Yeah.
Um, this person can also change email addresses, can change phone number, and like there's a lot of things that you can help make this information obsolete so they don't get you again.
Okay. I think there's a comment here from a user who is saying that I have seen services claiming they remove your information from the dark web,
Hmm.
and a YouTuber had reviewed them in a video. So, if you could give us the link of this particular video that you're talking about, that would be
Uh,
just great.
yeah. Well, I mean, those companies that they claim that they will be able to like erase that, I mean, there's not such a thing per
Yeah.
se. There's a lot of things that you can work with other companies, for example, like removing data from Google, like search. appearances so you don't show up on searches,
Yeah.
putting all your profiles private. Also, like, for example, LinkedIn now is working with, actually suing a lot of companies that are
Wow.
scraping data
Yeah.
from their platform. So as far as that goes, uh, it sort of like helps you. But there are other services, for example, like there's these services called Delete Me.
Yeah.
It's
It's a
it's
paid one.
Yeah, that it's a paid one. There are mixed reviews, I can say. Some of them, they have like excellent, like, manual removal process, but other people said it didn't work. Sometimes they find it like it's very expensive, so it depends on exactly what you want to do. But the most important thing is to make your personal information obsolete, so like the scammers cannot use it
Yep.
against you.
Thank you so much for your comment. And we are going to move on to the next question. One Reddit user shared that they were a victim. Okay. This one is about a potential bank scam. A Reddit user shared that their father called them after everything had already happened to explain what took place. So, the user's grandfather had received a call from someone claiming to be from the Bank of America. During the call, the grandfather provided his routing and account numbers as well as his password and login information. For some reason, money was transferred between two accounts the father could see, and claimed they had made 1/10 of an error, referring to just a few cents. The total amount involved was about $100,000. The user's father immediately contacted Bank of America to shut down everything and froze all accounts. The main
Yeah.
concern now is whether the bank locked the accounts in time. The situation is made more difficult as this person's grandfather doesn't have a Bank of America branch in his town, meaning he'll have to travel some distance to visit the person. The user ended the post by asking whether anyone else had encountered this type of scam before and what can typically happen after freezing
Mhm.
their accounts.
Well, I mean, that's very sad that this happened, but this looks like how they get seniors here in the US. They
Yeah.
sort of like, they try to fish them and to trick them into giving away like personal information. But what is important here is that your dad, in this case, he acted quickly, which
Yep.
is what like will help you um, be like on the defensive now. So this means that the good news is that you call the bank, you froze the accounts, so you were just able to stop the scammer right there on the spot. But and banks are very responsive once you are like reporting this, so they
Hmm.
actually work with you, and they are very good like mechanism in place so this doesn't happen. Now, as the fact that this person said that your grandfather doesn't have a branch where he lives,
Yeah.
um, I understand. I mean, that's the logistic issue. I don't know. There's not much you can do about that, but just to visit a branch. And of course, like, you need to consider that you have to go in person to solve this issue. That's the only
Yeah.
way to actually, there's no way you can do it off the phone or email you your picture of your ID or whatever. So you have to go in person. But now that your accounts are frozen, I mean, not worry much until you're able to visit a
The
branch.
bank. Yeah.
And my advice, I know, is very inconvenient. Maybe get a bank account from a branch that is in your local town, probably.
Yeah, that probably is inconvenient, but seems like the way to go because if something
Mm,
like this does happen,
yeah.
immediate action is important.
Yep.
And about the money, like he mentions that they have taken out like a lot of money. Is there somewhere that we can recover that amount of money?
Yeah, I mean, there's like, depending on your bank, like your financial institution, they do have different like
Yeah.
protocols and terms and conditions. So you need to be
Okay.
like to see up to how much money they're going to be able to reimburse. So I can
They do
actually,
get reimbursed.
yeah, they do. They do. You do get reimbursed if you report
Okay.
fraud or whatever it is. But you have to check your type of account. If
Bank.
it's your
Yeah.
checking, your savings, a credit card, you need to actually see the terms and conditions for each type of account that you have. They do have a threshold of how much money they're going to be able to return to you. And some cases, if they are able to sort of like put a freeze on the account, maybe the money is not moved yet.
Yeah.
So probably it depends on every situation.
Every situation. Yeah.
uh, but Bank of America, they do have a good like fraud like
Protection system.
department. Yes,
Okay. And this type of scam often affects like seniors. I think it's like a way to get
unfortunately,
them.
yes, unfortunately, yes.
And I think they make like some like emergency, urgency situation that, hey, you have to share it right now,
Yeah,
or this is going to happen to your money.
yeah.
And a lot of people do fall for it. So thank you, Sophie, so much for helping us with the cyber troubles that we had today.
Yes.
And before we move into our final segment, let's take a quick break to highlight one of our key initiatives.
Stay ahead of the cyber curve with real-time alerts, incident reports, and the latest cybersecurity news, all in one streamlined, easy-to-read newsletter. Join more than 20,000 subscribers who rely on Cyber Briefing, available on LinkedIn, Medium, and now on Substack. Don't wait to protect your digital world. Subscribe today and stay informed with Cyber Briefing by Cyber Material.
That was the cyber briefing, and make sure that you are subscribed to us because we talk about all of these issues. These things that are happening to people, these are probably covered in our cyber briefing. So make sure that you subscribe to us because this headline, if you read it, you will be able to protect yourself and others around you much more easily. So make sure that you're subscribed to us so that you do not skip a headline. Hi, Sophie. Welcome back to wrap up the week's top cybersecurity stories. So, our top cyber alert was that Steam and Microsoft warned developers about a major Unity flaw, urging immediate updates to prevent, exploiting risks. Your thoughts on this, Sophie?
Yeah, well, so this is an alert that we have on Cyber Briefing. I think it came out on Tuesday. And for all the gamers out there, you should keep an eye on this CVE because it's affecting a lot of Steam users. So if you're a gamer and you have a Steam account, you need to be like very, very aware of this CVE happening. I can tell you a few of the games that are being affected. It's Among Us, Cuphead, and Genshin Impact. These are being affected by their Unity versions of 2017.1 and later those Windows version. Now, Android and macOS platforms are also affected by the CVE, but not on the level of the Unity version. So what it happens is now it's allowing attackers to execute unauthorized code on these affected devices. So it can potentially compromise the user data and the system integrity. Now, just keep in mind, there's no evidence of an active exploitation of these platforms. So it's just a CVE that has been warned, that people are getting warned about. So it's very important to know what should gamers do in this case. You have to update the affected games. So go to the Steam website and check. They do have a blog post about this and see
Okay.
which patches you need to apply and which Unity based games are. I mentioned a couple of them, but there are other ones that are also being affected, less popular. But if you play them, you have to patch it. You will have to uninstall these titles temporarily until the updates are available. Not all the games they have the updated ready. I just mentioned the ones that I already have a patch available. And now one another advice another advice I can give you here is always stay informed and just subscribe to their newsletter or to Cyber Briefing to see if there's any new update.
Yeah, I think gamers are not having a good week because our next incident involves Discord, and that's where most gamers hang out. So, now the next incident is Discord confirms a data breach affecting a portion of users due to third party compromise. So, what happened here, Sophie?
Well, this one is fun because also it's on the game community, I can
Yeah.
say. But mostly also, well, those who have used Discord. But like this happened like on Monday, Discord announced that they have been victims of the data breach. Now, what it happens is like they revealed that a third party service they use for customer support, it was involved in the data breach. Now, here's what important to know, because today there's a new development for this incident.
Hmm.
What happened is that they're like threat actors that they claim they have access Discord Zendesk support platform for like 58 hours, so it's more like 2 days. And this happened on September 20th. Now they are saying that they have access to 1.6 terabytes, included ticket attachments, transcripts, and user information. And they are
Yeah.
claiming that the affected user are 5.5 million unique users, with some
Okay.
like partial payment information and around 500,000 age verification tickets with IDs.
Okay.
But today, Discord announced that, saying that, you know what, this is not true. We are not going to pay the ransom of $5 million that they are asking.
Hmm.
And because Discord said they dropped the ransom to 3.5, so from 5 million to 3.5, because they
Okay.
are bluffing. And Discord says that it was not a breach of Discord itself, it was a third party provider. Um,
Okay.
and they're saying the actual number of people affected are under 70,000 people, as opposed to the
Okay.
5.5 million that the threat actors are saying. So this is like very important, because if it goes from 5 million to 70,000 people affected,
Yeah.
so it probably like the amount of information is not that big. So what I would recommend is just to keep an eye on your Discord email to see if you get an official communication from the Discord team, and see if your data
Hmm.
was affected.
We actually have a comment coming in saying that they actually received the emails from Discord regarding the breach. So that means that Discord has been on top of the news and warning users that this has happened, which is a good thing usually, because many a times we see that companies don't disclose this information and it just goes, under the table. Another question coming in from LinkedIn, and I think this is a situation this person is in. Here in India, my aunt had got a scammed over a call. She had lost 40,000 rupees. And when she had gone to the bank, she was told that the payments were approved by her, so they couldn't do anything. And even the cyber branch said the same thing. So, what could they do? And what could people do to save themselves from these type of scams?
Yeah. So, Berwin, I'm so sorry this happened to your aunt. And sadly, this kind of scam is getting very common, specifically in India, that we have been hearing a lot about of this type of scam too.
Yeah.
And what the bank and the cyber police told her technically is correct, because she may have approved the transaction, for example, entering an OTP or her PIN number, or clicking on a link and validating her identity. So their system
Mm.
records show that the customer approved the transaction, but he may have been tricked into approving the
Mm.
transaction. So it's very important to find proof that she was tricked into um, approving this transaction, so you can also use it in your defense. Now, the first step is to report this scam. You have to be reported to the I think in India is the National Cybercrime.
Yes, we do have the cybercrime
Yeah.
department.
So you should report it to them, and you should file a report and explain exactly on details, like what exactly happening. Now, I think in India you do also have a cybercrime portal. I think, if I'm not
By the
mistaken,
cybercrime,
it's
yes.
cybercrime.gov.in.
Yep.
So you can also file it online as opposed to calling over the phone, and they will be able to get a little bit of more forensic data for you, so you can go to your bank and actually say, you know what, I didn't do it voluntarily, I was tricked into it. And just for your aunt, just a little bit of education may help her in the future. Just tell
Yeah.
her that no legit bank account, like bank institution, is going to call you and ask you for your OTP, or even a text message or anything, unless you are talking over the phone and you need to verify your identity and you call them first.
Okay.
And now, like, what you can do now is to find proof that she was tricked into accepting this approving this transaction, so you can use it on your defense and get probably your money back.
Yeah, and this type of scam is actually very common here in India, and it's very difficult to tell, especially older people, about this thing because they get very easily scared. In fact, like they get so scared to the point that they approve stuff, they give OTPs, and that's actually the trick
Yeah.
for many people, and they exploit it.
and
So,
and I always said to people, like, educate your elderly, your seniors in your family, talk to them about new scams happening, inform them about it, because if they heard it from you, they're gonna be a little bit more aware of what happened, so what is happening out there. So I would recommend you to subscribe to the cyber briefing to check the new alerts and scams that are happening out there, so you can educate your elderly and your seniors and your
yeah,
parents or anybody in your family, even if this new Gen Z generation too, like
yeah.
they fall for all the crypto scams right now. So it's
Yeah.
very important to also keep an eye on them.
Yep, definitely. And thank you so much for asking a question here on our Ask Me Anything Cyber. Keep asking your questions, and we are going to now talk about the top cyber news. We actually have two of them. The first one is Spark Mobile that settled its 2021 data breach lawsuit.
Hmm.
So, your thoughts on that, Sophie?
Well, I wanted to talk about this one because this one is, I can say, petty and hilarious. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what
Because
happened?
so what happened is, like, in 2021, Park Mobile, it's a popular mobile parking app here. They experienced a data
Hmm.
breach affecting around 20 million users, which is a lot. And the compromised data included email addresses, phone numbers, license plate numbers, and passwords. So
Okay.
sensitive information like credit cards or payment details were not exposed, but license plates, email address, these are like sensitive information too.
Yeah.
Now, there was a class action lawsuit against Park Mobile, and they agreed to a $32 million settlement. While the company did not admit any wrongdoing on themselves, they
Mm.
chose to focus on customer service. So, what is this settlement about? They gave a $1 in-app credit to the affected users who
What?
did not. Yeah, $1 for every affected user. Hold on, it doesn't end there. It's a $1
Yeah.
credit that you can use on your app only, on their
Oh
app
my God.
only, and you can only use it as a 25 cents increment. So let's say you are parking in a place and it costs, I don't know, $20 something. You can only use $25, 25 cents
Sense.
towards that payment 4 times. Now, that credit expires in 1 year.
Wow.
And well, except for California residents, they were able to negotiate better and it will never expire. But I mean, at $1 4 times, like, I still had to use the app. Probably all these people are not using the app anymore. Uh,
Yeah.
and and then there are some other users that were able to file a claim. They will get a $25 check on their mail, but it's not like a big deal. But the funny thing is, like, $1 in-app credit for an app. So I don't know, like, whatever. I don't know who negotiated this, but
Yeah, it seems like a lot of information got leaked, and
yeah,
for that, I get 25 cents four
yeah,
times.
yeah, that's crazy. When I
Yeah.
saw it online, I saw people like on Blue Sky or LinkedIn, like they were saying, "Oh my God, is this true? Like, this is like a joke, right?" But anyway, I don't know who were behind those negotiations.
People need
But
to take this
they do,
seriously.
they do say that they were gonna commit to investing into their cybersecurity more. So
Hmm. Yeah, I understand that. I really hope that people take cybersecurity more and more seriously these days because seeing that so much amount of data got leaked and reaching a settlement that only allows user to cash in 25 cents only four times seems a little bit petty.
yeah,
Yes.
right.
So
Anyway,
the
that's
next
crazy.
news that we have is that security experts are warning about the Y2K38 bug that could pose long-term risks to IoT devices and embedded systems. So what happened here?
Yeah, this one is fun because it reminds me of the change of the millennia from 1999 to 2000. that the clock, you had to turn off your computer at midnight, so the clock will roll back to 00. And this is like a funny bug, I can say.
Okay.
And it's known as the year 2038 problem, and it arrived
Oh.
from how computer systems represent time. So specifically, systems using a 32-bit signed integer to store
Hmm.
time as the numbers and seconds since January 1970, which is the Unix epoch. Now, this error will be encountered on January 19th, 2030 at 0314.08 UTC. So at this moment, the 32-bit integer will
Yeah.
overflow and it will reset the value to a negative number, which the system will interpret this as a at the date of 1901. So it's sort of like the same bug as the 1999 of 2000 that the clock will have had to roll back. Well, this will
Yeah.
happen to those systems that are running on 32-bit same integer. So while it's a concern of the future, I can say it can have a little bit of security risk, like system failures, like triggering like rollovers, and they can cause the system to crash. So
Hmm.
if you have a 32-bit system that is running out there, what you have to do is update it to a 64-bit time representation. That's the thing that you have to consider, and you should start. If you have a lot, you should start today, because you have like 12 years to do that.
Good. Yeah, definitely. So
Yeah,
we do have the security alert ahead of its time from the
yeah,
future.
exactly, yes.
All right. Thank you so much, Sophie. And we're going to close the AMA for today. And don't forget that we have cyber reviews on YouTube. You can go watch it. Make sure to share this Ask Me Anything Cyber, because we had a fun interactive session here every week. And I'm pretty sure that somebody will definitely get something out of it. Thank you so much, Sophie, for joining.
Thank you, everyone, and feel free to reach out to us. And I just want to say, stay tuned next week. We're gonna be in Dubai at GITEX. So if you happen to be in that area and you want to visit our booth, you are welcome, and I'm very happy to welcome all of you in Dubai.
Thank you so much. All right, guys. Our next event is going to be on the upcoming Thursday. So make sure that you mark your calendars and join us. Until next time, stay informed, stay alert, and subscribe to our cyber briefing.
Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our next Ask Me Anything Cyber, a fun, interactive weekly event for everything cybersecurity. Join us every week at noon Eastern Time for another high-energy recap of the week's biggest cyber stories. From data breaches and threat intel to major legal updates. Whether it's a high-profile hack, a new APT on the rise, or a must-attend summit, we've got it covered. But that's not all. We'll also break down the latest job market trends, share our thoughts on cyber stocks, and give you actionable insights to stay ahead. And of course, we wrap things up with what makes this show special, live Q&A with you. Have a question about a breach? Want to know how a threat works? Curious about getting started in cyber? Let us know and we'll answer it live. See you next week.